Well, that was weird yesterday. I don't really know how to describe what I watched. It was both horribly played, boring, and like I described it in my in my column this morning. It felt like a 9:30 Friday night college game.
Yeah.
Like where the teams are so bad and inexperienced
I thought
and
it felt like
disorganized.
a noon
That's
Sunday
true too.
football game with the Fox 7 Team 7, and I was surprised that we at least got third leg Greg.
Yeah.
Because I think third leg Greg is good. Get over it. I was talking to Blake about this morning.
He's good.
No, yeah, he's better now.
I think when you get him away from Brohard, he's better.
Yeah.
He's not trying to bro down. He's just actually like giving you football stuff.
I think he's good. I just think his problem is Tom Brady's already awesome.
So the Cowboys are 4-7 now. Giants Thursday in disarray. The 4-win Bengals the following Monday at home.
What are you doing?
Tough to just
He's playing in our playoff game stream.
follow along here. Now we're 6-7.
Uh-huh.
At Carolina.
Covered.
How
Yeah.
easy is that? Now you're a 500 team with 3 to play. Tampa.
Have you looked at the standings? Like the rest of the teams? The NFC North
You're
has
at Philly. Who knows? They might have locked everything up by then.
doubtful.
And then Washington at home
Yeah.
to end the season. Could be for the playoffs. Let's take a look at the NFC playoff picture.
It's not favorable to Dallas.
So you're saying they could possibly win out?
I'm saying
You guys
they
are
win the
the
next 3,
the fucking
and then
worst.
let's take 2 of the next 3 after that. And what is your record? 10? That's 10 wins?
No, they would have to win out to get to 10 wins.
Okay, 9
Okay,
wins.
it's just-
9's pretty good.
Yeah, but look,
9 and 8? How many games
the
do they play?
Packers already have 8 wins, and they're third in the North.
Well, let's take a look at that NFC playoff picture. So when you look at
I can tell you what the New York Times athletic playoff predictor had it at this morning. Less than 1%.
You're saying there's
you
a
still follow the New York
chance.
Times?
It's the athletic. I don't, yeah.
So
All right.
there are 7 teams now in the playoffs, don't forget. So you got your 4 division winners. Mm-hmm. Let's say you get 3 from the North,
Okay, so there's 2 wild cards.
and you need 1 more wild card.
Yeah, correct.
Why not the Dallas Cowboys? I'd like to look at it faster.
well,
if
the
my internet would get faster.
Well,
What
the
are you on?
Commanders are 7-5.
And in a tailspin.
Yeah, I suppose you're right.
Like, what do you think they're saying today in Washington?
Fire Cliff.
Oh, my God.
They're fine.
Cliff and his annual second-half swoon. We talked about
Not
it at
ideal.
the beginning of the season.
What if it's not Kyler in Call of Duty? What if it's Cliff playing Call of Duty?
It's possible.
Because Kyler's actually been good since Call of Duty came out this year.
Fantastic.
Cliff has been bad. Cliff looked so Cliff.
In the
He looked about as Cliff Kingsbury as I've ever seen him looking yesterday.
Sexy as hell.
Yeah, the
sunglasses.
the shaved side of the head and the sunglasses and just not a care in the world. Just loving life.
I'd still take him here.
Well, you might have that chance.
But, yeah, I mean, these other teams.
All right, let's just say they do win 9 games or whatever. And they don't make the playoffs. Does that lock up McCarthy?
No.
You sure?
I might.
Because we've been lacking fight. And that's the kind of game Jerry wanted to see yesterday. At least show me that you can play NFL football and fight. Like even before the craziness at the end. Because, look, they won by luck. They won because of the freak touchdown, kickoff return, and missed
I
extra
disagree
point.
with that. They got lucky, but they also played better overall than Washington.
That's what I mean, though.
Oh,
That's what they
won
wanted. They won by luck, but they were in that game.
Yeah.
They were just like,
Yeah, they ran the ball well on first down, and that was a dominant defensive performance. Dominant.
really amazing.
That's what,
After you read, like, Zach Martin and Trayvon Diggs didn't even make the trip.
No, and you were also down Tyler Smith as of game time.
Tyler Smith was out. Of course, DeMarcus Lawrence and Dak are already on injury reserve or whatever they call it nowadays.
Bland came back, but that's game 1. You have no clue what you're going to get out of him. He played a lot, but who knows?
I'm sorry. Did you say Zach Martin?
Yeah.
Okay.
He led with it.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying once you heard all
Just
that,
kidding, buddy.
you were definitely thinking that Washington likely covers,
Yeah.
let alone the Cowboys actually winning.
Yeah, but what happened was it looked remarkably similar to the games where Cooper Rush won in 2022, where they had a dominant defense and they could run the ball. And if you give him that, he's just okay. He's not Gardner Minshew. He's not Mariota or, hell, even good Flacco or Jameis, but he's fine. That's what they did. But they're not keeping McCarthy unless they're in the playoffs. Now, if they did go 9-8, get into the playoffs and win a game, uneffing fortunately, I could probably see it. But you're still moving on from Mike Zimmer, I would think. Well, hell, maybe not. I don't know. Up until this ridiculous scenario you've proposed, I have not considered a world where Mike McCarthy is the head coach next year. At all. They're a bad football team.
Well,
Here, I got a better one for you.
Micah said on his podcast they're a damn good
He
football team.
reiterated that yesterday. If Dak were healthy starting Thursday for the rest of the year, is there a single game that they would be favored in for the rest of the way that they're not already going to be favored in with Cooper Rush? The answer is no.
Yeah, no, they weren't good with Dak.
They were not good
That's
with
the thing.
Dak.
And that's probably tells you a little bit about how good Dak is and whether Dak is worthy of the highest paid player in the NFL, which he's not.
Cost of doing business.
Which is ridiculous, and it's a ridiculous way to do business, I think.
Second in MVP voting last year, had a contract coming up. You just got to do it. Now, what you don't have to do also is go acquire Trey Lance for a 4th-round pick. And again on Friday, Stephen Jones was asked about it, said, I don't regret it. We didn't know if we were going to sign Dak.
Boy, they're dying on that hill, aren't they?
Good God.
How did you not know we were going to re-sign Dak and then end up signing him to the biggest
It's
why not just do that
How
in
do
the
these
beginning?
people have so much money?
Do that in the beginning.
I could have figured that out. And I'm in debt.
Like, if at the end you were going to give the biggest contract ever, you could have done it at the beginning. Now, I bet the biggest contract ever wasn't as big. As they, when they did it.
But speaking of Trey Lance, the one thing they are right about, Cooper Rush does give them the best chance to win. There's no chance Trey Lance could have pulled that off yesterday. None.
I mean, based on anything we've seen, I would say that's true. But
The last time
they also had a pretty basic game. You know, it wasn't like he was.
No, he was efficient.
He was efficient. They didn't really try to air it out at all. When they did, it seems like good things kind of happened. You get he underthrew a couple of deep balls.
Yeah, and
significantly got really lucky.
Yeah, that
got
CeeDee
the pass
Lamb
interference on the one
where Lamb, they highlighted it on the highlight where Lamb cut back across the field and run in front of 2 defenders. That ball was going to be picked. I'm not saying Cooper Rush is great or even good as a backup. I just think Trey Lance probably
we got a little taste.
Trey Lance probably belongs with God's squad.
Got a taste.
Boy, he'd be so good, wouldn't he?
He'd be a very good flag football quarterback. Hey, the Olympics are only a couple years away.
But
got a
all right,
little
let's
taste.
talk about the Trey Lance.
What a disaster!
Package. What are they doing?
I don't know.
So it's 1st and goal at the 1. Let's bring in Trey Lance. I think what you do there is actually pass. Because what does everybody think they're doing? Exactly what they did.
Well,
they're going to do some kind of a read option or something with Trey Lance running because that's what he can do, we think, effectively. Of course, he lost 3 yards on that play, and they bring Cooper Rush right back in.
And over here just waiting for his turn is the guy that I was told is an elite short yardage back.
Hunter Lipke?
No, Zeke, who had a 3rd and 1 carry yesterday where he was stuffed behind the line of scrimmage with 12 defenders on the field. Oh, no. Did they have 12 on that play? No, it was there was a defensive holding. There was a Washington penalty.
Offensive holding.
No, it was offense.
There you go. That's what I'm trying to say.
Shoemaker held,
They had a hold, and he got stuffed.
Despite the fact
the
that
hold, that's what I was going
they
for.
held one of the defenders back and wasn't able to get to him, he still couldn't get.
That's right. Yeah.
It was less than a yard, dude. It was like a half a yard.
Yeah. One of his 3 carries on the day. What a disaster.
Yeah, why is he even on the roster?
He's got 10 carries in the last 4 games. So at least they're getting the message. But, no, I don't know. They have no real explosiveness on offense even when they had Dak.
All right, so in the first half, or I should say first quarters, I'm writing notes. And let's see. Washington misses another field goal, and then the teams are 1 for 4 in field goals thus far.
Did we miss a couple? I didn't see that.
Well, should you give Brandon Aubrey a miss on a block?
We asked him about it, and the one from earlier this year he said was his fault. That one I don't feel like it was.
No.
Like, does Bryan Anger get worse punt average if he gets a punt blocked?
That I don't know.
I was
But
hoping you'd say no.
that one,
No.
the blocked one was not his fault. The miss, I'm going to have a tough time alibiing for that one.
McCarthy had what's going on face. We've seen that so much this year. Like, you're the head coach. Why don't you know what's going on?
Yeah.
But I also did think Brandon Aubrey did hit one off the upright, and he's done that earlier this year, didn't he?
Yeah. You think that should count for half?
1 point.
1 point, okay.
Like, that's really hard to do.
Give it to him.
And maybe you should give him 5 points because it's impossible to do.
That would be an interesting rule change.
Were you watching Brandon on the field goal block? Like, did you rewind it 100 times just to see? Like, because Bryan Anger just got trucked.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, no.
Aubrey got his licks in there.
Like, just in real time, I thought it was Aubrey. I was like, oh, no. He just got hammered. And no, but he got a little bump right at the end. Like, it's like, yeah, I'm a football player.
Yeah. I'm pissed.
And then during that first quarter, though, like, things are going nowhere. It's just the worst game you've ever seen. I'm selling all my Jaden Daniels stock. I'm writing the note, why not sign Daniel Jones for the minimum?
Because he wants to play for a playoff team.
Play?
Oh, okay. His agent says, he wants to. Oh, okay, I'm sure lots of playoff teams are going to be fired up to go add Daniel Jones.
Well, they will.
Why?
Because they want a backup quarterback
who
is
is
this far along.
Yeah.
I saw the favorites are Baltimore and Minnesota. Yeah, there you go.
All right.
So, dude, I mean, he would immediately become the best backup in the league, which is funny because
Which is probably his future.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I
you
just
know
thought
what?
it would be cool against the Giants to have him and start against the Giants. That'd be awesome.
It would be very funny. The whole
And-
thing is very funny.
What if, we're a bubble playoff team. Like, okay, do you want to just go back up in Minnesota, or do you want to start here in Dallas for the next 7 games? Let's go.
What are you? What's gotten into you?
I'm just saying.
This is
Don't
so
you think
weird.
that'd be fun?
He's seeing
I
Belichick
guess.
float away with a win, and now he wants to grab onto something else, which is Daniel Jones.
Well, Belichick's probably going right to New York, dude.
Yeah.
They fired everybody yesterday.
And they'll
Which we predicted in the summer.
Yeah.
In the summer. We said
Yeah.
these 2 guys will be gone, but let's trace it back to actually when they locked up Daniel Jones.
yeah.
Like, you knew it right then. You could have bought yourself a couple more years by not locking up Daniel Jones, probably keeping Barkley because he's a fan favorite, blah, blah, blah.
I don't know if this is actually true or not, and somebody better prepared would have done the research. But I believe it is the case that every time the Giants lose, including yesterday, Shedeur Sanders posts the phrase, God is great.
I saw that same thing about the Raiders.
Then it's probably fake.
Well, they all lose a lot.
Right.
And he probably posts that, like, every week.
I just know that, the talk of him ending up in Cleveland or Jacksonville, Deion's been very clear that he's not going somewhere he doesn't want to play.
I mean, last week was pretty heavy on the, Deion to Dallas talk. out there.
That's not going to go away because they're going to fire McCarthy, and then it's going to be
Well, they're just going to let his contract run out. They won't fire him.
I'm just gonna, okay. Sorry, I'm just going to tell you exactly what's going to happen from February to April. The entire sports news cycle will be dominated by Deion Sanders. Entire. Because his son is going to be the first quarterback taken, and he is going to be acting as his representative, like Archie Manning style. And his second son, above Shiloh and Deion Jr., Travis Hunter, is going to be the second or third player taken in the draft. And he's Deion. The whole draft cycle. And also, does he want an NFL job? How does that figure into this? It's going to be all prime all the time for a couple months. What humble beginnings at Prime Prep with Brett Shipp.
I know Cooper Rush. I know overall people are saying, hey, he played pretty well. But, man, I'm just looking at notes throughout the game. Got 2 of his screen passes blocked in 3 plays. And that's kind of what he throws. That's his main throw, is a screen pass. Seemed to have a read option where he picked up 5 yards.
And
like, what the hell was that?
Dude, that's
what you save for the goal line if you never do it.
Yeah. And you use this analogy a lot, but him riding the running back, pulling it, and then heading towards the edge is exactly what you say about your cat getting out. He was like, holy shit, where am I?
What do I do now? Like, there's no step 2 in the
I am
cat's
headed
plan.
to the line of scrimmage with the ball in my hand.
The cat,
like, this is not...
The cat will sit for 8 hours a day near the back door. As you open it, and you kind of keep your foot there, and like, nah, I can't get out. But it's waiting. And then one day, it actually gets out. And then you just walk out to the porch and pick it up.
Yeah, it's like, I've never been here.
It doesn't have step
really have a
2
plan.
to the plan, so it's not planned.
Didn't he slide?
Yes, then he slid.
He's like, oh, my God.
I'm in the open field. What do I do? Speaking of the open field,
Turpin.
Do you hate seeing Turpin do this stuff? And you're like, yeah, the coaching staff has known about this guy all along. And I might have even heard our guys, Saad and KT and Machota on their podcast mention, why have they always used him? They'll run him downfield and throw it 50 yards to him.
But he's 4 feet tall.
Yeah, but how about getting it to him like they did last week when you see something like that? Try to get it to him somewhere in open space.
Yeah, it feels very generic fan take, but it's one I agree with. He's the fastest guy in the league. You can't find a way to get him running across the field 3-4 times a game. What do you have to lose? I can tell you, you're not going to get much out of Jonathan Mingo.
Damn.
That guy.
They gave him 81 too.
Yeah, it's just.
Well, why are you
see-
upset about that? It's just a cool number.
T.O. wore that. That's a cool wide receiver number.
Yes. Legendary Dallas Cowboy,
Well,
Ring of Honor member T.O.
You made it look cool.
Put up some numbers.
The worst part about when they talk about Mingo is, he clearly is not good. And the worst part is not when they say, well, they gave up a 4th-round pick for him. It's when they're like, they were super high on this guy coming out of the draft. And he's like the worst receiver in the league in Carolina.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, well, maybe you should just learn from your mistake.
You don't have to evaluate just from 5.
Right.
He has a new evaluation.
Yeah.
And
not good.
Yeah, I'm just looking at, let's see. The Cooper, he had an interception called back for pass interference, but it was a horrible throw.
It was also a pretty blatant PI.
The 45-yard pass to Jalen Brooks was severely underthrown. Thought he kind of got lucky on that one. And then Tolbert, open at the goal line, Rush again underthrew him, but they got a pass interference there. Maybe it was about the 4-yard line. And I think the lesson that I noted was that you don't have to throw behind the line of scrimmage all the time. You can throw down the field,
possible.
And things can happen. But I suppose if you do that, it also increases the opportunity for a potential interception, which Cooper Rush wants to avoid. So they're very risk avoidance with Cooper Rush.
Yeah. Yeah, you might even say they've done that with Dak.
Yeah,
A
probably.
little bit, but Yeah, he got the job done. Schoonmaker made a couple plays. Like, if you're grasping for stuff to look at for next year.
Spanford.
Chrysler Spanford. Yeah. Schoonmaker might be your tight end of the future. I don't know. Overshone played well again.
Trey Lance came in again and handed the ball off to CD.
They'll do that on you.
And that was all. That was all of the Trey Lance we saw. 2 Trey Lance plays. The package.
It's not much of a package.
What's going on here?
It's not much of a package.
What are we doing?
They don't know, so how are we supposed to know? You know, they are what they are. I can't believe you're actually talking about I know you're mostly kidding, but you sound like you're Micah. Like, we're not done yet.
I mean, weirder things have happened. Look, I didn't think they'd win this game. And the fact that you're right, though. It's so many weird anomaly things happened.
Yeah.
This was kind of the game that I've been, when we picked them to cover against the Eagles or something, you're like, well, it's a division game and things happen and you never can tell. That's what this game felt like. You just don't know. It was a division game. Micah, I think we've had questions about what we think of his leadership. Like if you actually call him a team leader. I don't think we can. What did you think about the time? And really good job. Again, Greg Olsen, he's solid, man.
On the Daniels touchdown?
Yeah, it was the thing where Wanye Thomas didn't set the edge. They kind of showed that. And Jaden Daniels just ran it in. And Micah is pretty demonstrative, like showing the world, this isn't my fault. It's yours. And he was showing him up on the field a little bit. I didn't know if that's the place for that. I don't know if you even think that's it matters at all.
I guess you'd prefer it not, but I also just listened to Micah's full post game in the locker room. And
did he talk
maybe
about
I'm a sucker, but no. But it was he was very leaderish in that sense of, hey, we're going to keep fighting for the man next to us, and we finally played mostly good, but he was heavily focused on the fourth quarter and what they did give up. I think he's got it in him, but he's not there yet. They really don't have a defensive leader.
Was Wanye the one that, yeah, he got that onside kick and ran it in.
Bless, man.
So, obviously, the play is fall down. Then the game is over.
Yeah.
I get it.
Dude, it's your only
You're
job.
Wanye Thomas. You're a spare. It might be your only chance to score a touchdown in your NFL career. Probably is.
No, it is, but if you're going to get evaluated by your team or others on whether or not you have a brain in your head and we can trust you on hands team, then listen, I say this as a guy who I wasn't good for much, but throw me out there on that hands team and I'll fall down on a ball. I'm very good at falling down.
I will grab that ball and fall down.
That was bad, man. I almost at that point was like, I hope they lose.
So I get it on two fronts. I get it from his point of view, like I'm
you
a
get
spare.
A ball for your grandkid?
Right.
Yeah.
And I get it on the front of that's what the Dallas Cowboys are. They are individuals looking for individual accomplishments, and that's what he was worried about.
And highlights. No, yeah, individual. You're right.
And that's he got that ball, and he's going to go score. And then after the game, he'll say, hey, next time I absolutely will fall down. And he's not going to. Next time he gets one of those, he won't fall down. But a really smart play just to run up and grab it ahead of time. I mean, pretty lucky as well because it got a perfect little bounce for him. But
my last note, it's 1 year, but boy, I'm not real sold on Tyler Guyton right now as he doesn't know how to line up. They can say it's a point of emphasis. The guy has had an awful year, and he got benched. And then Awesome Richards got hurt, so they had to throw him back out there. You know, it's a bad year, so it's not getting talked about that much, but getting this out of your first-round pick is not encouraging. It can get better, but it's starting to feel real the offensive version of Taco Charlton right now.
Yeah.
Not good.
Just because your last year's pick,
Or several of them, you know?
late round first round pick turned out really well, they assumed that could just happen again.
And, that's part of drafting. You're going to miss. It's largely random. But if you look to the draft in the offseason, they have a lot of problems, and I'm not sure that isn't still one of them.
But it was a risky pick at the time.
Everybody said it's
Which, if you go with the chalk, it turns out to be wrong, then you're at least in the same boat with everyone else.
Right.
But people were trying to tell them that is not a first-round guard or tackle.
thought they could beat the system.
They were saying that about Guyton?
Oh yeah,
it was
that was an
huge
overdraft.
reach.
Because I know the taco thing was criticized at the moment.
But people thought Tyler Smith was a reach. Remember, that's how he ended up going toe-to-toe with Bob, who said he would retire. And then, boy, a team PR group has never had a player on the phone so quick than the day after that first round. But, yeah, Guyton was definitely considered a reach. Tyler Guyton.
You didn't fix that.
I think that's unfixable.
We'll hear that in a moment. And then Austin Ekeler getting knocked out on that kickoff return. What's the word on him right now?
He died.
He died? So they didn't revive him?
I don't know.
It's Austin Ekeler Field now.
I thought it was kind of funny in the sense that things are funny. So Ekeler gets hit, and immediately, like the guy that hit him or even people around him are like right away they knew, like he just fell limp. And Nick Vigil has the ball. He picked up the ball, and he's pleading with the ref. Like, he's the only guy not caring about Austin Ekeler. He's like,
but I
recovered this fumble. And it was really funny to watch.
Look, that's Mamba mentality.
Like, them special teams guys, that's why they're individual stat. They need that.
That's true.
Oh,
Not a lot of chances.
My other note, and like I said, the game ended great, and it was so fun at the end. But it's certainly revisionist history on how good the game was and what a good job McCarthy. The announcers were trying to convince us that McCarthy was calling a good game. They said that. They're like, he's calling a real good game, blah, 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 blah. And like the next sentence they said after the next play ran, all right, Cowboys are now 1 for 8 on third downs. Like I don't understand how all those things could have been true.
Boy, I was really confused by the last possession they had trying to run out the clock, where the first play was Rush kept it to make him run a timeout or burn a timeout. The second one, they ran play action, and then he just took the sack. Well, then why on the third one do you even hand the ball to Dowdle? Just knee the ball. Or just run around for a second and knee the ball. But Dowdle people fumble.
Yeah.
So it's like, commit to one of the things.
Yeah.
Which, unsurprisingly,
the play action was interesting because it did show they had a thought.
Yeah.
And at least he had the confidence in Cooper Rush to just eat it if you do not have something wide open. And so that was cool.
No, on the as we detailed earlier, on the player profile for Cooper Rush, oh my God, I need to fall down, 99. So when they called that second down
so
play,
much so that
I know what to do here.
On that one keeper, he just did it like in the middle of his run.
Yeah.
Well, the Cowboys
Tommy
win.
DeVito Thursday.
Do you think they're still sticking with him?
Oh, yeah, they're tanking.
Okay.
Yeah, they're tanking because otherwise they'd be playing Drew Lock.
Well, and then let's say the Cowboys, don't go on this miraculous run that I was detailing earlier. Are you upset then that they won?
No,
meaningless win.
No, because they're bad, but they're not Jacksonville bad, and they're not Panthers bad, and I don't think they're Browns bad. Well, they may be Browns bad, but they're not going to take a quarterback, and they were probably not bad enough to be in the top 5. And 6-11, that's kind of not that different to me.
I've moved past that.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you expect these professional athletes that live and die by this to actively try to lose this game?
No, what they would do is what the Giants are doing and play Lance instead of Rush, or not put Bland back out there.
Yeah, but if you're throwing Micah out there and all your guys, there's
still an argument about Lance just to
see what you got.
That you got rid of a 4th-round pick, and now you're just what are you going to do with Lance? Although,
well, what if he played well? What are you going to do with Lance?
None of it makes any sense.
That Trey Lance experiment died the day Dak signed his deal.
Yeah, he's not going to give you a hometown discount.
For what?
So the whole thing was they traded for him
To put
and then they
pressure?
But then they found out he has a significant bag. They're like, actually, San Francisco is right. Because Jerry must be getting that. At least McCarthy must be honestly telling him that. Like, he's got nothing. He's terrible. He sucks. We can't play him. And so they're like, okay, well, we lost that trade. We took a shot, and it was actually to replace Dak. That's what they wanted. Like, they wanted him to show just something. At least beat out Cooper Rush, and then you've shown that you're that good, and then who knows? Then we could actually put pressure on Dak in these contract talks. But Dak sees him every day, too. And is like, yeah, don't worry about it. We're not signing yet.
Yeah.
But even if Dak was not signed right now, then yeah, Trey would be playing, and you'd be saying, could we win with this guy in the future?
But, you're right. McCarthy heard that from Jerry. Jerry's like, look, publicly, me and Steven are going to say this was no regrets, but we get it, bad idea. Hold up, though. I'm also going to go get a receiver that everyone in the league thinks is terrible and has given up on for another 4th-round pick in the middle of the season.
Amazing when
Hopefully
you look
you can make that work.
What 4th-round picks are actually getting other teams.
Other teams?
Way better players.
Typically, yeah.
I think Trey Lance just looks small.
Okay.
Don't you? Like when he's out there, and I'm transitioning here to Jaden Daniels talk just a little bit.
Yeah.
Because he also looks slight. I know he took the league by storm in the beginning of the year.
Got banged up.
And you'd have to it's the RG3 thing, right? Like his style of play to make him effective is also the same style of play that'll probably get him injured year after year. Like, would you buy stock in Jaden Daniels right now?
Yeah. I think he's a better passer than RG3. I think he's a little bigger, but he can't run like he was in the first half of the season consistently. Do it like they did yesterday. There are guys who run.
Because he'll sail some balls on you, too. He's
a rookie, though.
Okay.
I would trade my entire roster, the owner, the GM, and the coach for theirs right now. Just like the next 5 years, which one do I want? I'll take theirs.
Okay.
Sorry, Micah.
Yeah, poor Micah.